An environmental campaigner who's taken legal action over road projects in Norfolk and Essex has hit back at the Prime Minister, who accused him of wasting millions of pounds of taxpayers' money. Sir Keir Starmer singled out 3 schemes in the East that had been affected by protesters and referred to the former Green councillor Dr Andrew Boswell in particular. We'll hear from Dr Boswell in a moment, but first, the background from Robbie West.
For his supporters, he's an activist fighting in court for the environment. But for the Prime Minister, Andrew Boswell is stopping the country from building by using the courts.
Those road schemes were not assessed together for their carbon impact, and we're saying that that is unlawful.
Back in 2023, an upgrade to the A47 was put on hold due to a legal challenge by the former Green councillor. This one of a number of cases brought to court by the retired scientist. Writing in the Daily Mail, Keir Starmer singled out Andrew Boswell, accusing him of trying to hold the country to ransom through legal challenges. The article began with Boswell's case against the A47 and noted that the Supreme Court dismissed it as having no logical basis. The Prime Minister asked in his article, why was he able to waste years of the court's time and squander tens of millions of pounds of taxpayers' money? The PM vowed to remove the tools used by campaigners, saying his government was clamping down on court cloggers. Legal campaigns against other infrastructure projects based in the East are being used by ministers to make this argument.
East Anglia wind farms is another example. A group dragged those applications through the courts for 2 years. They were thrown out every turn. So yes, people in those instances, those sort of groups should have a chance to bring a permission request for judicial review, but they shouldn't have repeated chances.
The government say that their new proposals will prevent what they describe as cynical and hopeless judicial reviews. They believe that this will stop people like Andrew Boswell from using the courts to hold up getting things built across the country. Robbie West, BBC Look East.
Well, earlier I asked Andrew Boswell for his reaction to the Prime Minister's article and his argument, and he told me he was shocked by it.
On reflection, I think it's a very dangerous article, and I think that he's exposed a member of the public to risk. It's also a low-level attack. I was trying to think back of any Prime Minister who's ever attacked a member of the public like this before in a tabloid media, and actually I can't actually recall one.
But why is it dangerous? Because, I mean, you have put yourself out there, your cases have been covered by the media, people know who you are and know what you're doing, so why is this dangerous?
Well, some people do already, of course, but let's be honest about this. He has appealed to a certain part of the media in a particular way, with divisive language. He's using it as a distraction from the fact that the Labour Party have actually changed their direction on climate and nature.
I mean, we have a democracy. We vote people in to make decisions. Highways says that, there's overwhelming support for the schemes that you have tried to block. You are just one person fighting a personal battle.
No, that's not true, actually. I was widely supported in my cases. Over 2,000 people, for example, donated on the crowdfunder, just to start with.
2,000 compared to the...
Yeah, but this is donating money. This is not just having a view, Susie. This is actually people putting money where their mouth is. I'm not doing it for myself. If you think I want this sort of stuff and the amount of what I have gone through the last few years doing this, I'm not doing it for myself.
Your cases have been dismissed outright as having an air of complete unreality. Yeah. I mean, do you accept that you have gone through the system and it has rejected your claims?
The planning system does not secure our carbon budgets, which are vital to getting to net zero and so on, and stabilising the climate ultimately for our grandchildren. So I set out to try to shore up the planning system and fill some holes in it.
But you have lost your cases. And
I accept that I've lost.
To take another quote, there's no logical basis for what you were saying about cumulative carbon
there actually is. I've just given you the logical basis.
But that's what the court has
planning
decided.
System does not secure our climate budgets, and it still doesn't. These selective phrases are being used against me, and that's totally wrong, and I want to put that on the record and correct that.
I understand that, but millions of pounds of taxpayers' money was spent fighting your cases, which then were thrown out. Could not that millions of pounds be spent better on environmental projects?
I was fighting for the right cause, to stabilise the climate system. I may have lost at this point, but I was fighting for the right cause. And yes, that money was worth it because of that.
Let's talk about your cases. Have you ever won one?
No, I haven't. But actually, it was one and another one.
Well, you've had one on the A12. You've now
had one
got
on
one
the A12, and now I have one on carbon capture and storage. And the reason I have one on carbon capture and storage,
which is an attempt to actually help the environment.
Yes, but it's an incorrect attempt. It will
fail. In
your
opinion?
It is my opinion, but it is also the opinion of quite a lot of scientists. Now, I ask Ed Miliband and Keir Starmer, please can you come talk to me and the other scientists who oppose carbon capture and storage, and maybe we can get out of some of the problems we're in with this.
Dr. Boswell, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Time.